In this video, we'll be taking a look at one NFL game happening on October 3rd, 2024, and providing you with a free team pick and total pick for this game. So 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on this one NFL game after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Atlanta Falcons. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons are set to face off this Thursday night in what promises to be an exciting National Football Conference South Division showdown in Atlanta. The Buccaneers come into the matchup with a surprising 3-1 record after a commanding victory over the Philadelphia Eagles at home last Sunday. On the other hand, the Falcons hold a 2-2 record after securing a dramatic win over the New Orleans Saints, thanks to a last-second field goal that gave them the edge in a close contest. After suffering a tough loss to the Denver Broncos 2 games ago, the Buccaneers bounced back in impressive fashion against the Eagles. The offense came out strong, jumping to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter and maintaining control throughout the game, ultimately winning 33-16. Quarterback Baker Mayfield had a standout performance, completing 30 of his 47 pass attempts for 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. While the running game showed some inconsistency, Bucky Irving contributed with 10 carries for 49 yards and a touchdown. Mike Evans, who had been relatively quiet in the first 3 games, broke out in a big way, recording 8 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown. This performance highlighted the Buccaneers' offensive potential, even though the run game remains a point of concern. On the season, the Bucs are averaging 24.5 points per game, with their defense allowing an average of 19.5 points. Currently ranked 9th in offensive production and 12th defensively, the Bucs will need to start strong in this matchup to put pressure on the Falcons from the outset. The Falcons, however, have been inconsistent to start the season, but they are coming off an important win on Sunday. In their matchup against the New Orleans Saints, the Falcons managed to pull off a 26-24 victory. Quarterback Kirk Cousins completed 21 of 35 passes for 238 yards, though he didn't manage any touchdowns and threw 1 interception. Cousins has struggled to find comfort and rhythm in the offense, and his performance will need to improve for the Falcons to continue their success. One notable takeaway from the game was the performance of their running backs. Tyler Allgeier rushed 8 times for 60 yards, while Bijan Robinson had 7 carries for 28 yards. Wide receiver Drake London also had a strong showing, finishing with 6 catches for 64 yards. So far this season, the Falcons are averaging 19 points per game, while their defense is allowing an average of 21 points. With the offense ranked 21st in the league and the defense ranked 15th, Kirk Cousins will need to deliver a significant performance for the Falcons to compete effectively in this game. The Atlanta Falcons have proven to be a difficult team to get a read on this season. They've had some impressive moments, such as their win against Philadelphia or their tight game against the Chiefs, even in defeat. However, last Sunday's game was not one of those high points. Despite being slight favorites at home against the Saints, the Falcons' offense failed to score a single touchdown. Their defense struggled as well, allowing 25 first downs and a total of 366 yards, leading to a significant time of possession disparity in favor of New Orleans. Although the Falcons' defense and special teams managed to create some opportunities, the game left many doubting Raheem Morris' program, prompting a downgrade in power rankings. In contrast, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are riding high after their dominant performance against the Eagles. Baker Mayfield led the charge, throwing for 347 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bucs outgained the Eagles by over 200 yards. While some may argue that Philadelphia had an off day, it was nonetheless an impressive showing by a Tampa Bay team that controlled the game from start to finish. This victory was a strong bounce back after a puzzling loss to the Broncos in Week 3. The only concern for the Buccaneers heading into Thursday Night Football is their injury report. Several key players, including Mike Evans and multiple offensive linemen, are dealing with injuries, though 90% of the players on the injury list were able to play in Week 4, and a similar turnout is expected for this divisional clash. The Falcons are not in in perfect health either, with multiple starters listed as questionable. Of particular concern is Bijan Robinson, who has been struggling with a lingering hamstring issue. All things considered, this matchup appears to be a closely contested battle. Oddsmakers have essentially labeled this game as a toss-up, with the Falcons slightly favored over the visiting Buccaneers. Despite winning consecutive division titles, Tampa Bay continues to be undervalued in the betting market. Even with the additions of Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney and the departure of former offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, Atlanta's offense has yet to impress. Cousins had a strong 2-minute drill to win against the Eagles in Week 2. But Philadelphia is now looking like a middle-to-bottom tier NFL team. With Cousins already throwing 4 interceptions this season, one could argue that Baker Mayfield, with 8 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions, is the better quarterback in this matchup. Additionally, Todd Bowles is a more complete coach compared to Raheem Morris. The Buccaneers should not be considered underdogs in this game, as they appear to be the more well-rounded team. Kirk Cousins has been inconsistent, and this game seems poised to be one of those where he struggles again. Baker Mayfield, meanwhile, is playing with renewed confidence and is poised for a big game. The Falcons' defense is unlikely to have an answer for Tampa Bay's offense, and the Buccaneers should be able to take control of the game. At its core, the matchup between these two teams suggests that siding with Todd Bowles, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin is the better choice compared to an Atlanta offense that still needs work. Therefore, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Through the first 4 weeks of the season, the Atlanta Falcons have shown a tendency to play in low-scoring games, going 3-1 to the under. However, much of that has been against subpar offenses, such as the Steelers, who have struggled, as well as the Eagles and the Chiefs, who haven't looked like Super Bowl contenders early on. This explains part of their underwhelming results, but it's clear that the Falcons' offense has yet to hit its stride. Atlanta ranks 22nd in points per game and has struggled on third down, converting just 26.32% of their attempts. Kirk Cousins, meanwhile, has yet to settle in, ranking in the bottom third of the league in completion percentage and interceptions thrown. Even after a win last week, where they failed to reach the end zone, the Falcons' offense remains a question mark heading into Thursday night's game, and 3 days of rest likely won't be enough to bring about a significant change. The real question revolves around the Buccaneers and how their performance will unfold, which is difficult to predict. Tampa Bay has had ups and downs through 4 weeks, and consistency has been elusive. They should have lost to the Detroit Lions, where they gained only 216 yards, and in Week 3, they were held to just 223 yards and a dismal 7 points at home against the Broncos. While their Week 4 win over Philadelphia was impressive, it may have been more a reflection of the Eagles' struggles. Thursday's matchup presents a new challenge for the Bucs. Divisional matchups often tend to be lower-scoring affairs, with both teams familiar with each other's tendencies. This game, coming on a short week, should follow that trend, with little time for extensive game planning. The total has been set at 43.5 points, indicating uncertainty among big money bettors regarding the number of points that will be scored. Since the season opening game between the Ravens and Chiefs, every Thursday night football game has gone under the total this season. Defense has been a hallmark of this NFL season so far, with an increase in field goals and a decline in touchdowns. Last week, the Falcons followed that script, failing to score an offensive touchdown and relying on 4 field goals. This game should follow a similar pattern, with 2 division rivals battling it out. Last season, both games between these 2 teams finished under the total. The Buccaneers rank 16th in total offense, while the Falcons sit at 20th. Atlanta will likely lean on their ground game, targeting a Tampa Bay defense that has shown vulnerability to the run. The Falcons will also need to protect the immobile Kirk Cousins against a Buccaneers defense that is coming off a 6-sack performance against the Eagles. This style of play should slow the game down and limit possessions for both teams. So far in the 2024 season, there have been 3 divisional matchups on Thursday Night Football, and none of those games have surpassed 41 points. Ultimately, the Falcons' offensive inefficiency stands out as a significant factor. They've been poor in terms of third down conversions, ranking 29th with a 26.3% success rate, and they've struggled in the red zone, converting just 40% of their trips into touchdowns. Their defense has fared better, ranking 11th in red zone defense, allowing opponents to score touchdowns on only 46.7% of their trips. On the other side, Tampa's defense ranks 12th in red zone efficiency. This suggests a physical, lower-scoring divisional contest is on the horizon, with a final score likely in the range of 20-17. Given the injuries on both sides and the importance of this early season National Football Conference South matchup, this should be a hard hard-fought, gritty game. Anytime two divisional opponents face off on a short week, the under is usually a strong play. Thus, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.